Within seconds of what you just saw, Decatur police say a suspect threw a knife at officers. After seeing he was holding another knife, they fired. Good evening, I'm Brandon Morano.
And I'm Marley Capper in for Jessica. The Decatur Police Department has released the names and body camera footage from an officer-involved shooting that happened last week. WCIA 3's Scarlett O'Hara joins us now. Scarlett, walk us through what happened that night.
Decatur Police Chief Shane Brandell says officers responded to a domestic call last Thursday. Brandell says a man threatened a juvenile with a knife. When officers got there, they found a woman who had been stabbed, the mother of that juvenile. That's when they started looking for the suspect. The footage we're about to show you depicts confrontation between officers and the suspect. We want to warn you, what you're about to see may be disturbing.
I think it's a bathroom, I believe.
43-year-old Stephen Herstein was behind that bathroom door until police warned body cameras capture the moment it bursts open. Decatur Police Chief Shane Brandell says officers noticed a knife sheath on the ground near the door, the first clue they might be in danger.
The start of that video is when they knew he was then in there at that point.
Come out with your hands up now!
The footage shows Herstein raising his right hand, holding a knife that Brandell says he then threw at officers.
Somebody may ask the question, well, if he threw one knife and now he wasn't hit by that, the officers weren't hit, then is there still a threat? Absolutely there is. He's still armed with a second knife. The officers saw that.
2 of the 5 officers there fired shots at Herstein, hitting both his hands and above his right elbow.
This is Officer Oberheim's video.
Come out with your hands up now!
No officers were hurt. 8-year veteran Joseph Oberheim was one of the 2 who made a quick decision to use his weapon, the brother of Champaign police officer Christopher Oberheim, who was killed in the line of duty just shy of 2 years ago.
And then I was told Joe Oberheim was involved. You know, that stung even more just because of the trauma that his family has experienced in the last couple of years.
Brandell says this is the 4th officer-involved shooting in a year. In that time, 3 officers were shot. And in the past 2 years, he says there's been 6 or 7 officer-involved shootings.
And that is an incredible number, considering historically we would go 2 to 3 years between officer-involved shootings.
And that's part of the reason he chose to release this footage.
And it weighs heavily on me as the chief of the police department. You know, and I hope that the community sees and understands how difficult this job is.
Brandell wants people to see how quickly officers could be faced with a grave threat and a choice, whether to administer deadly force.
Those officers have to make that decision that fast. You saw how fast they have to make that decision. Under threat, under extreme stress.
He says he's been analyzing it frame by frame, equipped with the same set of facts officers had in that moment. He asks anyone else watching this footage to put themselves in the officer's shoes as well.
That's the reality of it, right? They don't have the luxury of being able to study what they should do after the fact. They're just like you and I. And this is a traumatic event for them just as much as it is anybody.
Brandell says while he's withholding final judgment, he doesn't believe this footage indicates his officers violated protocol. State police are conducting an independent investigation, and once they're finished, Brandell says they'll forward the information to the state's attorney's office, who will determine whether the use of deadly force was justified under the law. In the meantime, he says the officers are on administrative leave receiving mental health counseling. If they're cleared, they could return to full duty in a few weeks. Back to you.
All right, Scarlett, thank you so much. Here are the names of the 5 officers who were there that day. In addition to Joseph Oberheim, 1-year veteran Dawson Roberts fired his weapon. Jack Kaczynski, Jordan Jinks, and Joseph Sawyer did not fire their weapons.